a lot of people think of inkjet printhead as just something you put on a printing machine and basically print on different kinds of substrates for labels, for paper, for plastics, for anything that you see in your retail space. But we're going to see something now that, everybody has seen it, but you probably never thought where it came from. So we're talking to Andy from Bluhm
Weber, correct.
Yeah. So Andy, before we talk about the technology, tell us a little bit, who are you and what do you do?
I'm in the position of the Vice President of the Bluhm Weber Group, and our main focus is to develop products for the product identification business. In this case, you see here some of our examples. So we can print on many types of substrates, and in this case, we like to introduce the Seiko RC1536L printhead, driven by our electronics to fit all production needs.
When I said that in the introduction, that it was kind of funny because, for example, this kind of material, I can't remember the English word for it, but
it's a plasterboard.
Plasterboard, yeah.
Actually,
because I just remember I bought it just a few weeks in the Bauhaus, right?
Yeah.
And when you see this kind of thing, you of course understand that you always see the identification of it, but you never thought of where it comes from. So basically, your company, you make you use the Seiko components together with the controller electronics, and basically you deliver these kind of systems to the manufacturers of these systems, these products, right?
So we're going directly business to business to the big production sites, and like to get our German-made equipment into the world.
Yeah.
So we are not selling locally only; we are selling worldwide.
Yeah.
We also had this meeting used to meet some customers from Asia Pacific region.
Oh, really? Okay.
To make some deals.
That's
so
nice.
It's working.
Yeah. So it's funny that you have Japanese-made printheads, German
electronics,
and then you sell worldwide anyway, right?
So, but it's mostly sold by German engineering.
Yeah.
Not only, it's a combination of the printhead from Japan plus the German electronics to make it work.
Yeah. And when I look at things like this, is that a market that has a lot of competition in it, or is it?
Currently, we are the only player in the market,
Okay.
and that is approved by Seiko.
Okay. So that is like a fantastic place to be, of course,
Yeah.
because basically I cannot imagine that when you come to a company that's producing plasters like this, or woodwork, or tires like this, that you wouldn't need to have some kind of identification on it, right? So in the old times, you would have put a label on it, or you would have made it in a screen printing process, right?
Yeah, but due to the raw material shortage and labels, so the backliner, it's a good market for us now to sell the Seiko printhead instead of a label.
Precisely. Yeah, but I was just supporting your business because basically everybody needs to have that kind of information. But rather than having a label or sticker or something like that, you can print directly on the product, right?
Yeah,
and as this is not being seen when it's mounted, it doesn't really matter, right?
It's just for product identification, and that is the market where we're using this product at the moment quite alone.
Yeah.
So nobody came to the idea to get this product for this product identification business, but we use it since 2019.
Oh, really? Okay, so you have a lot of experience.
So we have a lot of market now for this, and the product is quite very, very stable over the years.
Yeah. When you look at it from a technology perspective, one thing is that you use the nice new printheads from Seiko, but and you see them in this nice housing here. But what is the challenge from a technical perspective to actually bring this to market? Is it the inks and the fluids, or is it the controller thing, or what is, in your opinion, the most?
The inks are one of the main drivers, but here at this event from Seiko, you know a lot of ink people.
Yeah.
So we get our knowledge upcharged.
So you get all the good friends here, right?
Yeah, and we can use more inks.
Yeah.
But the idea we have at this show is to get this product to other OEMs. So we want to sell our technology to them.
I understand that,
to be also in the same market.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand where the biggest challenge is from, because it's not like getting a printhead and then you have everything done. There is a little bit more to it, right?
So the biggest challenge is to get everything together in time and on time.
Okay.
Because nowadays it's difficult to get the parts somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
But we are safe, so we can deliver machines, and that's the most important thing.
Okay.
And we get many happy customers.
Okay. Yeah. Your own background, is that also from engineering, or are you?
No, it's more from IT,
Okay.
But it's always needed to get some IT background, because
Yeah,
all the
because
machines are getting connected.
Yeah, and if you look at things like this, it looks like a computer, right?
Yeah, but it's also to get it connected to some higher level systems like ERP, because nobody would enter the information manually. It must come from some higher level system. Yeah, that's the point.
Since you started until now, do you see big change in how integrated it needs to be?
So we have one of the most compact systems in the market, and they just can communicate by some Ethernet connection with the ERP system.
Okay.
Yeah. So make it compact, that is our point. So our printer is like here. We have it not here in a complete assembled condition, but here you see the whole printing system. It's very compact, very small, and it's working fine, working great.
We have here Herbert, and you were introduced as a colleague to Andy, and you should know more about the technology, right?
Yes, I'm the development manager for the system and work in the north of Germany, so in Lübeck. And there we have a development center where we developed all this kind of systems.
So the only thing you don't develop yourself is the printheads. The rest you
Yes,
do everything
correct.
yourself? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So what do we see here?
We see here different components to control the printhead, the printhead driver for the ink system to control the pumps and the pressure for the printhead, and also a driver for the for the image which should be printed. So this is connected to a PC, and the PC sends the data to the system to print the images on the products.
So when you work with the technology side of this, is it from also from a computer's perspective, or is it from an engineering perspective about how it physically works, or what is it you work with?
On both.
On both,
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, it needs to work
yeah,
together,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, understand the application, because basically it's really smart that you can print directly on a lot of different kind of substrates and surfaces like that. So when you do these kind of things and you look at the customers, do you do a lot of things that is customized to each customer as well, or is it always like standard solutions yourself?
Yes, it's also customized. So most is standard solutions, but we have also customized systems. Yes, sometimes to integrate it direct internal the machine and so on.
Oh, okay, so it could be like if you have a packaging machine or something that carve these things, you can basically put the entire system on that machine, basically.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the most typical way of using? Is that how people normally do this, or what do they do the most?
The most is printing on products, on finished products.
In an offline solution, or
in an offline solution.
An offline solution.
No,
okay.
online
solution. Okay.
In the production, printing batch codes and expiry dates and so on. Or mainly parts which must be printed in the production because it's variable data.
Yeah. And that is when Andy spoke about that the systems like this needs to be integrated to the ERP system, is because you need to have the trackability and be able to make sure that this is invoiced with the right item, basically, right? So it's a two-way integration, right?
Yes, and we get also back the information what is printed, so we can send it also back to the ERP system. That this can be also stored in the database and so on.
And in the first section here, it looks like this is where you put in the inks, or
yes.
So here is a two-color system.
And yes, and this is what we only have. The standard is this printhead, the 1536 printhead is for one color. But it has two channels. And Seiko built for us a system where they divided the two channels to two ink systems.
Really?
And so we can print with one printhead two colors.
So that basically means that when the substrate this of course stands still. So when the substrate flows under it, some of the nozzles are black and some of the nozzles are red, basically.
So this part is red and this part is black, and then we can get this image with
and that is of course because you need two colors, but you need speed rather than quality, basically, right? So it doesn't need to be the highest quality. It needs to be something that is good enough for this type of application.
Yes, so we have not this 360 dpi from the printhead. We have for each color only 180 dpi, but that's enough for such print qualities.
If you look at this, I mean, you can easily see what it says, right? I mean, there's no reason for having more printheads or higher resolutions for this application, right? Yeah. So how is the market reacting to your solutions? Are they happy with it?
Yes, And we have a lot of different customers in the wood industry and also on fishing ships, for example.
Okay.
Printing on the fish boxes direct when they put the fish in, or they have the fabric fish ships.
So basically, the last ships that you see in the North Sea, when they start piling up, they print it while it's on the ship?
Yes, yes.
Who should have thought that, right? Before you entered this industry, would you know?
No.
No. Fantastic. Well, anything that we need to talk about that we have forgot, or anything you would like to talk about? I mean, you have, of course, the brochure, and you can go to your website, marcoprint.com, to read more about the products, right?
Yes, get all the information there.
Yeah.
And we have here also a small display to control the system, independent from a PC.
Oh, so you don't need to have a PC with the system, basically.
No,
and that is
no,
smart if you're on a fishing boat or in a
a production line where you have fixed data. If you get the data from an ERP system, then you need the PC to collect the data and send the data to the printer. Yeah.
Thank you, Herbert.
Okay, thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.